Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we have another Evil Genius 2 video coming up because, well, the release of Evil Genius 2 is around the corner and it's time to talk about something really annoying. No, not in Minions, we already had that. We are talking today about the forces of justice, or aka the agents. So the forces of justice have a problem with you because you try to conquer the world and they don't like that much. I don't know why, but you know how it is. There's always somebody who doesn't like what you are doing, right? You cannot do it right for everyone. It's like YouTube, you know? Just a little bit more sinister. However, the agents of justice will show up at your doorsteps at a certain point in the game. And how do you get them? How do you get rid of them? And how do you make sure that they are not coming too often to visit? That's all the things we want to look at today. And there is still, and I have to say this at this point, there is still a lot of things I have to learn. Because when it comes to the forces of justice, Evil Genius is a little bit, how to put it, not as direct and informative as they could be in the second game. There are a lot of things where you see the results of what you did, but you don't really know what you did to get those results. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but you will understand if you watch this video. So, whenever you do something on the world map, you are creating heat. I know we have already covered that in our world map video, which you should definitely check out. But whenever you do something like this mission here, you will create heat. And that heat will also raise right here in your criminal network. And then if it goes too high, it will basically transform into the overall heat you can see right here. There you can see the threat levels. And then whenever you do something, they generate heat. They are not fully generate heat, right? As far as I fully understand this, it's not when you generate 50 heat in a region, you will get 50 threat. Like threat and heat seems to be a little bit something different. I know it's, as I said, it's not like 100% explained how this works, but it seems that only a percentage is actually going into your heat level, or this is at least what I'm understanding, because if you were looking at, let's say, we have 53 heat right now in, whoop, misclick there, my bad, right here, right? And it's like, yeah, should be less. So something is definitely going on with the towers I'm still trying to fully understand. However, whenever this reaches the maximum, the heat will transform into threat and you have a chance that agents are actually coming to your doorstep. The good thing is, you will get the Forces of Justice heat tracker, right? There is no threat. This is a little bit of a lie because there was a threat right here and it told me like, hey, in 2 minutes, agents will show up on your doorstep. And the really interesting point here is that when the timer runs out, you don't get immediately agents on your island. You have to wait till the next boat arrives, which is right here. You can see the agents leaving the ship and they're visiting our little home. But that happened a few minutes ago, so it's not an immediate thing which happens. You still have a little bit of time, so don't panic when the timer runs out and you're like, oh my god, where are the agents? Calm down. The agents are probably still on the boat and that boat will arrive. Do all the forces of justice come with the ship? Or come through the casino? So far, yes. All the different forces of justice I had all came through the casino. But there are a few differences we will talk about. So let's the forces of justice wander in. Those are level 2, but they are still quality poor. And you can see which forces of justice, like which region they're coming from, their name, whatever, their status, their suspicion, which is very important, and then you see the stats down there. And you can also see down here that you can distract them, capture them, or terminate them. What that does, we will talk about in a second. So the most important thing when it comes to the agents is the suspicion. Because those people try to figure out if the rumors they have heard about you is true. Are you a legitimate businessman or woman? Or are you an evil genius who tries to conquer the world? Well, they will never find out, hopefully, because you hopefully have a casino ready where enough valets are standing ready to reduce the agent skill, reduce the agent resolve, or you have this one which can also reduce the agent skill. And there are of course more machines you can unlock later. I haven't done that yet, but there are more things you can do to lower the resolve and the skill of that agent. And then hopefully when the casino is big enough, they will never find the way into your lair. The flow shore can also help you. As you can see, it reduces the resolve of the agents because it weaponizes the minion karaoke skills to drive the agents away. That's a nice way to say that your minions can't sing. But however, those agents will now look around, and again, a casino is nothing suspicious, but this is the most important perk. Those agents can reach up to 10 suspicion. That is the highest they can get. So let's pause it for a second, because we will need them later. And let's jump into the base. What is creating suspicious, right? Like, which item is creating the suspicion the agents need? Well, unfortunately, I can only tell you what I have figured out so far from just testing things and have the agents running rampant in my base and see what they like and what they don't like. But there is no other way to tell really which item is creating which suspicion. You can guess it, right? Like, you're a casino owner. Like, what are the things which make sense in the casino and as a casino owner, and what doesn't? But what I would really love to see, and maybe we are getting that with a future patch, is that I'm clicking on an item and see like what amount of suspicion this will create, right? I would love to see that, because it would really help me to make the decision like which rooms I want at the beginning of my layer and which I maybe want to push back a little bit. So let's talk about the things I have already figured out. So first, the good news: your mess hall is creating no suspicion at all. Like, it doesn't do anything. I had multiple agents coming in here and they were just like, oh, a mess hall. Okay, well, I'll leave, right? Like, that doesn't do anything. Traps, interestingly enough, also doesn't raise their suspicions. Like, I had multiple agents which were coming in here and got hit by all the dart traps, by the punching traps, and they were just like, oh, I'm bleeding, I'm poisoned. Happens, right? Just happens. Sounds like a normal summer vacation. And yes, I have unlocked Eli, Mr. Barracuda. Well, his son. But it also seems like that the archive doesn't create any suspicion, and the same goes with I always forget the name. I always have to look it up. It's the freaking staff room. Every video I forget the name of it. The staff room was also not doing anything. What does create a lot of suspicion, and with a lot I mean 10 out of 10, is the weapon rack. I kid you not. I had agents coming in here, taking pictures of the weapon rack, and they hit 0 points, and bam, 10 points. And they left immediately, because they had all the suspicion they needed. So, yeah, about weapon racks at the beginning. Be careful. They might not be so great. So I know that your gold will create suspicion, but not 10. It's definitely less. Oh, they're the agents. Like you can see, you could just poison and he doesn't care, right? He is losing all his stats, and it's like, yeah, whatever. They're just moving on. Now they're trying to hack, deactivate like the traps, but that doesn't really do anything. Now, let's talk about a few things here. What we can do when agents enter your base. And we will come back to the suspicion in just a second. But what can you do? Well, we could kill them, which, believe me, is not a good idea. If an agent doesn't return, so far what I have figured out is that is even worse than the 10 suspicion they can bring back to the base. So killing agents is really a bad idea. Capturing them and then question them, which also kills them, doesn't create as much heat, but it also gives you intel, which you need for tier 2 schemes on the world map. You can also, of course, generate intel by just using those little machines here, the computer console. But if you trap an agent and you question the agent, they will drop 3 intel, and those are the agents. This is different depending on what you capture. So, but there is also distract them.
Here. Distract them for me.
And we would do that right away because they are a little bit too deep into the base. And my guards will now pick them up and will tell them, hey, you're not allowed to be here. Please leave. And yes, also workers can do this. So they will now escort them out. Does it mean they give up? No, they're not giving up that easily. They will try to come back, and they might even try to put on disguises. They will disguise themselves as your minions. When that happened, what can you do? Well, you can't attack them anymore. They are losing all their attacks because your minions are unfortunately not smart enough to look through the disguise. You might be. Like, you might still see how they move, and you are like, yeah, those are not my minions. I mean, my minions are not that smart, but they are not dumb as bread. So, who are those people? Like, you realize very quickly when an agent is in your base. Your minions, unfortunately, not. So, how can you get rid of the disguise? I have found 2 ways at the beginning. And one of them is that they are triggering a trap, and the trap will immediately destroy the disguise. Or, if you have a minion who was a former agent, like Barry Stewin, right? This valet here, he was a former ex-Hammer agent, and he can see through the disguises. He knows exactly when there is a Hammer agent in a disguise that this is fake, and the disguise will just go poof, and you are good to go. So, now the next question is, what happens if they found enough suspicion? Again, if they reach 10 suspicion, they will try to escape, and they will try to report this to the forces of justice. And definitely keep an eye out for the stats right here. What I have found out so far is when you reach over 100 heat, it seems like that you have a chance to get soldiers now. Yep, they were sent in soldiers, thankfully only soldiers with pistols, no machine guns or anything. And soldiers are completely different. Unfortunately, I don't have any soldiers right here, but it's pretty simple. Soldiers are there to kill. They're not walking around, they're not looking for stuff, they're kicking in the door and they are starting to shoot. And it doesn't matter if it is your valets which are running the casino, or your workers, or your guards. The moment they see your minions, it's time to kill. So that is the moment where you really want to send your base into high alert mode, because you want to stop them. They don't stop till they have basically eradicated all targets or even found the evil genius and try to kill them. Like, soldiers are not there
minions are in combat
to take pictures. My minions are in combat. Oh boy. So she got asked by a worker to leave, and
I want that intruder captured. Hunt them down.
she didn't like that. That can also happen. That can also actually happen. And after like a second time, they will actually like not leave anymore. Yeah, sometimes the doors don't really function correctly. It's a little bit weird. And now the guards are taking over. Yep. That should do it. Oh boy. So she's captured now. This dude though, let's try to capture him too.
Be located and captured.
Okay, wonderful. Or as Max would say, wunderbar.
a scheme has
Now we have
succeeded.
to, of course, remove the bodies, which we already did. And this agent didn't saw that we captured his bodies. So that's good. We might be lucky there. Let's hope it stays that way. Oh, we have to capture her too. Ah, wonderful. She got stopped by a valet and is now moving out. Cool, cool, cool. So this worked out. But yeah, again, when soldiers are coming in, fun time is over. They are there to kill. And I haven't really gotten any other forces of justice yet, like saboteurs or super agents. Haven't found them yet. But again, when the soldiers are coming, it's kill. Well, what happens with your heat after the soldiers are just there to kill? So this is rather interesting. When you kill the soldiers, your heat will be reduced. I know it's a little bit weird, but if you kill all the soldiers, your heat will be reduced, and I can actually show you this very quickly. I
The
had...
criminal network has attracted the forces of justice.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Now this could go pretty much away here any
An
seconds.
agent has been subdued and captured.
But you can see it right here. So this is where the soldiers came in. And they were not happy. I killed all the
We have
soldiers.
captured an agent.
And then the heat did go down. But I think there's a pretty good chance that we're actually getting some hammer soldiers there. So this agent is now leaving and has no suspicion. She knows nothing. Let's get rid of those people here and get some intel in the meantime. But, so what can you do? Well, the best thing is really to get a functional casino, to make it big enough so that the agents are staying for a few minutes in your casino and then just leave. With no suspicion whatsoever. Or, if they're getting into your base, you tag them immediately to escort them out. And then you hope that you don't have to fight them. If they are going into your base, you should definitely make sure that there's nothing at the beginning which could attract like suspicion. Like as I said, the mess hall is completely fine. The archive is clean, like you don't have to think about that. The same goes...
Interrogation has succeeded.
I have to look it up
It's
again.
an opportunity
Staff room.
on the
I don't know
world
why
stage.
staff room is a word name I always forget, but the staff room is fine, right? You don't have to follow that. But be aware of the weapon racks. Like the weapon racks are a clear no-go. The training room seems to be okay-ish. They seem to get a little bit of heat, but not too much. The same goes with the barracks. This room, this is also a big no-no, the command center. Like, this is how they get suspicion, and the same goes with the prison. Like, this will immediately create suspicion, 10 out of 10, and they will go home. So, yeah, that's basically how you stop them. It's one of the easiest way to do it. So you're trying to stop them in a casino, and then if they go into your base, try to give them like a little bone there and just throw them some rooms which create no suspicion at all, or only just a little bit, and then they would just leave and leave you alone. But yeah, that's basically a first rundown of the Forces of Justice and what they can do. It would definitely be interesting to know more about how the suspicion works, and I would definitely do another video on some of the super agents, if I can manage that before the release. If not, I will do it afterwards, because I will not end to make videos when the release of Resident Evil Genius 2 is happening. Man, I'm mixing up all the words today. But thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you have any questions, as always, I mean, you're already doing it, but still, ask your questions down below in the comments, and we'll try to answer them as much as possible. And if you're also new to the channel, you want to see more Evil Genius 2 videos, you also want to see reactions to trailers, conventions, announcements, and probably soon some Outrider videos, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel and also ring the bell, because then you're getting informed when the next video is going live, or you subscribe to the channel and you will never hear from me again. Don't know why YouTube is doing that, but okay. However, I would appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay evil.